So what if you could build the perfect custom-tailored controller for your entire smart home for just 35 bucks? Well, that's the big promise of this little gadget right here, the M5Dial. It's been making some serious waves in the maker community, and we're about to find out if it actually lives up to all that hype. You know that feeling, right? If you're into tech, you see a new gadget, you tell yourself, no, I don't need another project, but you know you can't resist. That's exactly what happened here. One reviewer saw the M5Dial, tried to hold off, but caved. And what he found was a device that was, in his words, absolutely worth the distraction. Let's see why. So what is this thing really? Well, at its heart, it's a deceptively simple idea. It merges a really satisfying physical knob with a modern responsive touchscreen. But as you're about to see, that simple little combo unlocks a ton of power in a very, very small package. I want you to just imagine a high-quality rotary encoder, for that perfect tactile click, wrapped directly around a bright, circular touchscreen. This mix of old-school analog feel and new-school digital flexibility, that's where the magic of the M5Dial really is. It gives you the best of both worlds, all in one little unit. Popping the hood, you'll find it's all powered by an M5 S3. You can think of this as the brains of the operation. It's an ESP32-based chip that gives the dial its Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And this little powerhouse is what drives that beautiful touchscreen. It processes every click and turn from the encoder, and it's all powered up with a simple, modern USB-C port. Okay, let's take a closer look at the hardware itself, because beyond just the screen and the dial, M5 Stack has somehow managed to cram a surprising number of really thoughtful features into this tiny little thing. If you look closely, there's a hidden button right under the logo for an extra custom function. On the back, you've got two I2C ports. That means you can easily plug in all sorts of sensors from M5 Stack's massive ecosystem. It's also got a dedicated DC input that can take a huge range of voltages, perfect for permanent installations. And speaking of installation, they threw in this clever mounting ring that makes it super clean and simple. They even included a header for a real-time clock battery. Of course, with a name like the dial, everything, and I mean everything, comes down to one question. If that main control feels cheap or sloppy, the whole experience is just ruined. So, how good is that encoder really? The reviewer's reaction says it all. He was so impressed, he just said, honestly, just listen to that. It's not just a noise, it's this really satisfying mechanical click that gives you perfect feedback, both tactile and audible, with every single turn. This thing feels premium. And that precision, it comes from 16 distinct steps, or clicks, for every full rotation. Each one feels solid and defined. There's no mushiness here at all. It means you feel totally in control, whether you're dialing in a specific temperature or just scrolling a menu. Oh, and the built-in buzzer that beeps with each step is a really nice touch too. But wait, the hardware tour isn't quite over yet. It turns out the M5Dial has one more major feature up its sleeve, and it's completely hidden. It's not even mentioned in most of the marketing materials. Get this, it has a built-in RFID reader. This was a total surprise, and it just blows the possibilities wide open. You could tap a card to arm your security system or use a key fob to load up your personal smart home profile. You could even build a custom access control system for your workshop. And hey, here's a pro tip for you if you want to use this feature. The RFID coil isn't right in the middle. For the best, most reliable scan, you'll want to tap your card or your tag on the upper right side of the face, right between the 1 and 3 o'clock positions. So, okay, the hardware is clearly packed with potential. But how easy is it to actually turn all that potential into a real working project? Let's move on from the specs and talk about the hands-on experience. Right out of the box, the demo software makes a great first impression. The screen is surprisingly bright, and that physical dial is so good, so intuitive, you might actually forget it's a touchscreen at all. The only tiny little catch is that the raised bezel can make it a bit tricky to tap the very edge of the display. It's a small thing, but definitely something to keep in mind when you design your own interface. So, to really put it to the test, the reviewer decided to build a custom smart thermostat controller. Now, this is the amazing part. From a completely blank slate to a working prototype, it took him just 40 minutes. That kind of speed is an absolute game changer for hobby projects. And the process itself was just incredibly simple. Using M5 Stack's visual web-based editor, it was literally just a matter of dragging a few blocks together. One block to read the dial's position, another one to grab temperature data from a smart home server, and a final one to display it all on the screen. That drag-and-drop simplicity is what makes the M5Dial so ridiculously accessible. You know, that 40-minute project proves something really important. The M5Dial isn't just another little development board for tinkerers. It's a legitimate, powerful contender that could be at the very center of your smart home. And it's ready to take on established commercial products.
For example, take a popular device like the Sonoff NS panel. The M5Dial is about half the price, sure, but the real difference here isn't the cost, it's the whole philosophy. The NS panel gives you a locked-down, pre-built solution. The M5Dial, on the other hand, just hands you a blank canvas and says, go on, build exactly what you want.
And that's where its real power just shines. Yeah, it can be your thermostat, but with a click of the dial, it can completely transform into your media remote or your lighting controller or the switch for your motorized blinds. It becomes the single all-in-one hub that does exactly what you designed it to do. So let's pull all of this together. With all this amazing potential, how do you actually get started with it? And what's the final verdict? Well, the really good news is there's an entry point here for everyone. If you're a beginner, you can start with the super simple wireless UI flow editor. As you get more comfortable, you can move on to MicroPython or the Arduino IDE or even Visual Studio Code for a pro workflow. And M5 Stock is constantly adding more UI tools, which is only going to make it easier to build with. And here's one final pro tip for the advanced users out there. To flash your own custom firmware, you have to get it into bootloader mode. The trick is, you need to press and hold a tiny, hidden button that's located underneath the sticker on the main module while you plug in the USB cable. Trust me, knowing that little secret will save you a world of frustration. So when you look at its premium feel, that hidden RFID feature, the super easy programming, and that incredible price, the M5Dial is way more than just a cool gadget. It's really a challenge to the whole idea that smart homes have to be expensive, closed-off ecosystems. It proves that powerful personal control is now within anyone's reach. So, the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?